welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hello, my name is Mika. Thank you so much for stopping in. So today let's have a heart-to-heart conversation about helping versus enabling. What is the difference? Sometimes we may feel like we're helping people and we're actually enabling them. And then sometimes we fear or we shy away from helping because we are afraid that we're going to enable them. So how can we have a good balance? Well, first of all, you need to keep in mind that when you're helping somebody, you should be offering resources. So if a person is like bad with their money and now they're asking you for money for maybe to get something to eat or gas or something like that, it's okay to help them that time. But also make sure that you're making it clear or pointing out to them like, hey, I did see, you went out and you went shopping. Especially if it's family, it's easier to talk to your family about things like this. But it's like, I noticed, a trend. You went shopping, you knew that you had bills to pay, and you knew we wasn't getting paid for an X amount of weeks. So I think it'd be better next time to make sure that you put aside money for gas and food, just extra things, and put your bill money to the side. That way everything's paid and you can see exactly how much you have left before you go shopping or hanging out or partying or whatever the person did. That's offering resources. And if you know like they're really good with their money, it's just that they don't make enough for their debt to income, basically, because you have to pay your bills and things like that. That's a debt to us. And so if you know that, then you can say, hey, what about looking for another job? Or what about, building some type of other career for yourself, something that you're good at, something that comes natural for you. Maybe you're just in the wrong field. Or maybe, this just isn't the job for you. You can work something else until you find something that you really enjoy doing. That's offering resources. But when you enable people, what happens is you become the resource for that person. So anytime that person's in trouble, let's say the same scenario, that person comes to you after you've probably seen them, spending their money on things that they could have waited for. I mean, sometimes we just don't want to wait, especially as ladies. Sometimes you see something really nice, really cute, smells good, and we just want it and we don't want to wait. But a person who knows how to money manage and they take care of their own responsibilities, they know like, okay, I can't afford this. But then we have people who can't tell themselves no. And they're like, well, I'm going to get it anyway. And then I'm going to call on my cousin, my friend, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, whoever, to replenish the money that I need in order to go to work or in order to have food for the week, and etc. So that's when you become the enabler. If that person has that sense, like they think of that, the person they think about, oh, I can go to this person, they're going to give me the money all the time. And it's a constant situation. They're always coming to you. Oh, can I have $10? Can I have $5? Or even if they say, can I borrow, but then they never pay it back, but you still give to them, you are now becoming an enabler. You now is that person's resource. They're not thinking outside of you. They're not thinking outside the box. They're not trying to think of ways that they can do better in order to sustain a better life for themselves, because they have you. You're always coming to save the day. You're always putting on the cape, making sure that they're eating, their kids are taken care of, they have a roof over their head. Even though they're working just as much as you are, they're getting a paycheck, and sometimes in some cases they could be getting more than you are. I've had a friend like that was making like $3 more than me on the hour, but she was constantly coming to me to ask to take out loans. And of course, because of the person that I was, now I know my limits with people. Now I know how to say no. I don't care how much I love you. If I know that it's becoming a pattern and I see that, then the answer is going to be no. But back to the story. So this friend was making $3 more than I was, and she had less bills than I had to pay at the time. And she would constantly come to me whenever she needed money with her cell phone, her rent, things like that, because she would spend money on food or spend money on shopping or spend money on her boyfriend. And I knew that, but I thought I was being a good friend at the time. And so I started being like, okay, yeah, that's fine. All the time, yeah, okay, I'll loan you $150, I'll loan you $200. And then it would take her months to pay me back, because I would just say, well, pay me what you can every month or every paycheck. And she'll give me like $10, $15, $20 a paycheck and things like that. So it took a while. And as soon as she paid the debt off, she would go right back, maybe a week or two later, to falling short somewhere and saying, hey, can I borrow money again? So it was constantly repetitive. And at the end of the day, it was just my money. You know, at the end of the day, that's exactly what happened, because it got to a point where she really, really fell under, and my money was a part of her debt because she hadn't paid anything back at that time. But she had really gone through a really bad time, and I felt bad because I knew she was struggling to keep her head above water. So I let her keep it. I think it was like $220. And, you know, I was like, you know what, keep it. But at this point, I was like, after that, I can't loan you anything else, because it was constant. And that went on for a whole year. And so I now know what I know now. When I look back on that, I realized that I was enabling her, because she didn't ask anybody else. And even if she did ask other people, they would get their money back the next paycheck. But it was something about me, because I had enabler on my forehead, obviously. It was something about me that she felt safe and comfortable with. Hey, if I need something, I know Mika got me. Or, you know, if I'm hungry, I know she's going to bring me food. And it just became just that constant, you know, taking from me. And I was not helping her at all. At the end of the day, she wasn't doing better with her money management. At the end of the day, she was still splurging her money on other things and not thinking about, hey, let me pay you back. You know, I know I need to pay you back. It was like constantly doing whatever she wanted to do until she wanted to pay me something. So I am a firm believer on this. If you cannot offer that person resources, and if you do not have the willpower to say, you know, after X amount of times, I'm going to have to say no to you, and stand on that and really say no, then you should not be trying to help people out. Because what's going to happen is you become that person's doormat, you become that person's hero, and you become that person's resource in order to continue to sustain life for themselves. And they could be playing you, because I felt really played. Like, there was times like she would slip up and say, oh yeah, I just bought my boyfriend this outfit, and I'm like, but you still owe me money, and you were just crying about not being able to pay your bills. So it was things like that, and it does not feel good when you feel like you've been played. And so that was the situation that we were going through, and it was my fault. And I think honestly it came from my childhood, because when I was in elementary school, although my mom, I love my mom, she is a wonderful mom, but she had me young, so school and things like that wasn't on her forefront when it came to me. So I wasn't, you know, brought up where my mom would sit down with me. I didn't have my dad in the picture, so it wasn't an adult that would sit down with me and say, hey, let's do homework. Let's work on this together and things like that. And if I see you struggling, let me get you the resources that you need if I can't help you. So in elementary school, I would struggle because I didn't have extra help, and I wasn't getting told how important education was. And so my mom would just be like, she would always try to save the day. Like, anytime that I would fail, you know, and they would put me on the risk of having to repeat that grade, she was there at school like, what can I do? You know, like, it's like she was reactive versus proactive, because I believe that because I'm so intelligent now. Like, I used to feel like I was dumb because I used to struggle really bad at elementary. It wasn't until I realized that, you know, I started having friends, and I realized for myself that I am intelligent. You know, that I started doing better. Middle school on up, I started doing a lot better. And then I even went to college twice and graduated both times. But in elementary, I really felt dumb because I would struggle, and my mom wasn't on me about doing my homework, and it was terrible for me in elementary school. And so she was my enabler, because she would just be like, oh, you know, if you fail this class, you're going, well, if you fail this grade, you're going to have to repeat the same grade. And she would tell me the consequences, but that was it. She wasn't like, okay, let me help you so that you'll see the seriousness of why you need to pay attention to your grades. Okay, so it was like twice, 2 or 3 times actually. I honestly don't remember. I just remember elementary was a struggle for me, that I was at risk of having to repeat the same grade. And so she would just go out of her way, even with other kids and things like that, because she had other children. I'm the oldest. And so she would like go out of her way to make sure that I went, and I went through summer school and things like that, enabling me. She wasn't offering me resources. Not once through that time did she say, I'm going to get you someone, I'm going to get you a tutor, you're going to stay after school, and this is what you're going to do. Let me sit down with you, make sure your work is done. Even if you didn't want to sit down and look over my work, she still didn't say, you know what, did you do your homework? Have you studied for that test? She wasn't like that. So she, in a sense, enabled me. And so, of course, after that time, I just kept going the same thing. And then every year was the same thing. So I think that's where mine came from. I think that's where that pattern of my enabling, because I still have to really focus in and zone in on myself on why am I doing so much, because like I tend to see somebody going through something, or I know that they need something, and I just want to just do it for them or help them and not offer resources. Now I'm breaking it down where I'm like, okay, I can help you, but what is the resource for you moving forward? I can't just help you right now and that's it, and things are going to be better if I'm not willing to help you see the importance of saving money, the importance of, you know, buying cheaper food if you have to, or whatever the thing, the issue is that the person's experiencing. If I'm saying I'm going to help, I need to help all the way, not just help as in I'm just going to give it to you and fix the problem for this day, because then I'm constantly going to have to do that for you moving forward, because I'm not teaching you anything. I'm not giving you any resources. I'm not helping you to think outside the box. So that's my thoughts and why I feel like I've learned how to be an enabler from. But y'all let me know what you think. Let me know if you've had these situations or circumstances, or even if you've been a person who's been enabled by somebody before and maybe it's been a bad habit for you as well. But you let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. As usual, all I ask is that you're polite and courteous in the comment box, because someone like myself is reading your messages, and we are here to be uplifting and be encouraging and to help one another know that we are not alone in this thing called life. Everybody goes through something and we all need help in some type of way. So leave your comments. We'll keep the conversation going, and we will talk next time. Bye.